Hello, VC. Been a while. Good to be back. Don't know when I'll do another one, but had the opportunity, had the chance. The 2020 tags going around. Uh, just felt like I needed to jump in. It's been a while. Had the time and opportunity. So let's get into this before I make this last way too long. Final tag 2020. If you haven't never done a video, this is a great opportunity to do one. You got the questions. It's easy just to follow along. Put your answers out there. Number one, you see me keep looking over here. This is where my list is. So, best find of 2019. I actually had a couple of them, and one of them, a couple of them I'll show you later on. But the best find that I've had was Pink Floyd, "Wish You Were Here." What made this such a neat find was the fact it did come, and I've showed this before, with the postcard in it. But I was glad to pick that one up. Favorite album that was released in 2019. I don't have many from 2019. For some reason, I picked up several albums, but they were all older albums. The only two, I picked up two or three, but The Who, self-titled, good record. Not my favorite of theirs, but definitely worth picking up. I kind of put this along there with, what's the name of it? Face Dances. Kind of that same type, but all around, it was a good record. A novelty record. I'm not sure. Different people are using different things for this one. To me, growing up, I always thought of and was heard that a novelty record was a kind of a goofy record, a funny record. Not necessarily a comedian, but just a funny record. And this was one that I had growing up, and it was one of the first 45s I ever had. You can see that. Rick Dees, Disco Duck. One of the dumbest songs ever put out, but still kind of neat. Novelty record, in my opinion. Homage cover that pays homage to another. Several people have shown this record. Abbey Road, and it surprised me how many different records and bands have put stuff out that are very similar. And I've showed this one before too. Francois Gloret plays the Beatles. Definitely one and the same there. So, B-side or deep cut? On this one, I'm going to go with a deep cut. Of course, you guys know me. I love the Eagles. Off the Eagles, One of These Nights. I think this song gets overshadowed by One of These Nights, Lion Eyes, Take It to the Limit. But the song I'm talking about is Journey of the Sorcerer. It is actually, Eagles are so well known for their great tight harmonies. Journey of the Sorcerer is an instrumental, so we don't listen to their singing. But man, you find out with that song how good they are as a band with their instruments. Very good song. If you don't know that song, check it out. Something funky. Well, I don't know how much more funky you can get than this. Wild Cherry, Play That Funky Music. That's the first one popped in my mind, so we're going to go with that. Weird Shelf Buddies, records that sit next to each other. Now, I don't separate my records by genres, except for I've got some jazz. All my jazz and big band stuff is separate. Why? I don't know why I even have that separate, but I do. Uh, and then all my Eagles related stuff. So, with that being said, they are in alphabetical order, so some weird shelf buddies do pop up. This time, we got Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance, sitting right next to the Judds. Why Not Me? I don't think you can get much different than those two right there. So, definitely odd shelf buddies. Let's see, next one. Oh, I Was There, a band I have seen. This band, Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush, on this tour, Tales of the Unexpected, along with opening for Nazareth, No Mean City. Great concert. Neat thing about this concert was it has a lot of memories. Me and a buddy of mine, we loaded up in his car a Vega, an old Vega, and there was at least 4 or not 5 of us in his Vega that took out on this. I can't remember how long it took us to get there. 45-minute drive to Lubbock to see Nazareth and Frank Marino. Great concert and everything. Well, coming back, we ended up with some more people from Seagraves, the town we were living in, on the way back. And we ended up with at least 5, if not 6, maybe even 7. We had that little Vega packed with people. Kind of remind me of Wayne anyway, doesn't remind me of anything. I don't guess. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, packed Vegas. We're just having a great time. Number 9. Wish I had an OG, but I have a repress. I'm not real big into having originals unless it's a group I'm really into, like the Eagles and stuff like that. But I do have a repress, John Coltrane's Love Supreme. Nice, a good original. I'd love to have that. That'd be pretty cool. Let's see, number 10, a discography you own. This one is a discography that kind of I stumbled into because I like her music, Linda Ronstadt, and starting back with the Stone Ponies. And I have her records, all 3 of her records from the Stone Pony days. And I grabbed 1 or 2 of them, and I liked them. And I knew I liked her, and so I grabbed a couple. I've got her all up to her big band stuff, up to the one that was released this last year. That was a live recording from Hollywood. But I became a completist with Linda Ronstadt by accident. I had a 1970 Linda Ronstadt silk purse, that lime green label. And I picked up another one that was in better shape, that was actually in the shrink still, of silk purse, 1970. And I got home and got to noticing the catalog numbers were a little different, and found out this one was the record club version. So I was like, no, okay, well, I've got 2 different versions of it. Well, then I found another version, and I picked it up. And this one was the 1971 version, reissue, on the orange Capitol label. And then, of course, when I ran across the 1980 reissue on that dark green Capitol label. I just had to pick it up, you know. So by stuff like that, trying to just upgrade to a better copy, next thing I knew, I had the various copies and, you know, needed one for this one here, two or three having her complete set, and then next thing I know, I was getting upgrades that were copies and reissues, and so there we go. I'm kind of a completist on Linda Ronstadt now, but I love her music. Great stuff. Number 12, Pre-Band, an album that features someone who went on to become famous in another band, and I am going with Long Branch Penny Whistle. And I've showed this one before, but you got Glenn Frey and J.D. Souther. Glenn Frey, of course, ended up going on and being big with the Eagles. And J.D. Souther had a pretty good solo career. And both of them wrote, and this is on the Amos label. Amos. 13, music, book, or movie, or both that you would recommend. Of course, like I said, when you first look at that Hotel California's book, it is not it's not strictly Eagles. And matter of fact, there's very little that's Eagles. It is all about that Southern California music of the late 60s, early 70s, the forming of Crosby, Stills, and Nash. The Mamas and the Papas are involved. Joni Mitchell, James Taylor, Jackson Browne. You know, that whole group of people that made it big out of that area. Almost you could say that all hit it big at the Troubadour and stuff like that. But great book. If you're interested in that type of music and that history and how they interacted and everything, it was a very good book dealing with that. And a movie I want to recommend, and it's an old movie. We're from 2014, but I did not see that till this past year. Never had even heard of it, but it's called Whiplash, with Miles Teller, who what was the movie? Insurgent, I believe, was the movies he was in, and then J.K. Simmons, who in the States he's known as on the commercial Farmers Insurance, but he plays an instructor at a school trying to reach the most potential from this drummer, and it is just a very intense but good movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. So I'd recommend Whiplash is the name of it if you have not seen that before. Underrated album. Will Dorado, Latigo. And this is a 10-inch 4-song record. These guys, I saw these guys in person. They opened for Lindsey Buckingham and Christy McVie, and real good music, real good. I don't know why they've not made it big. I don't know. I guess just the timing or the right people at the right place or whatever. But I'd recommend them. Check them out. You won't be disappointed though. Batting average. Artist that continuously puts out good music. This is one of those people like them or they don't like them. It seems like that's what I hear most of the time. And Chicago. If you like that music, that jazz infused rock type music, with the horn sections and stuff, man, everything they put out, I could just sit down and listen back to back to back every record of theirs and enjoy it tremendously. But very good Very good band. And I've yet to find anything that I just said, nah, that was a dud. So, same album, different cover. My daughter was growing up. We started watching movies, and she fell in love with the Doris Day movies and the musicals and stuff like that. And so we started buying her Doris Day records. And we have a complete set of Doris Day records that she has now of 12 inch. But I have held on to the 10 inches and got this Doris Day, Calamity Jane, and the different cover, Calamity Jane by Doris Day and Hired Kill. And this is the Australian version. So Australian and US versions of the same record. Different covers, but album bought cheap that is now worth some money. I picked up this record at an estate sale for $5 in great condition. I was just blown away by how good the shape it was in. And I've been seeing this go pretty continuously for around $100. So, I don't think I did bad on that one. Glad to have picked that Bo Diddley up. So, there's the back. Oh, some of you guys like to see labels. Let me show you a label real quick. It's on the chest label. But excellent shape. Favorite drummer. Well, this one was, you know what, I missed one somewhere. I'll go ahead and do this one, then go back. Favorite drummer. I'm going to start off with two of the, I call them old originals. They're not the originals, but my earlier influences in drums and stuff. Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich. Both of them just excellent drummers. Just anything they put out I like listening to. They kind of set the standards for the modern rock drummers and stuff. And with the recent passing of Neil Peart from Rush, it was hard for me not to put him on here. But instead, I'm going to go with my original favorite, Led Zeppelin's John Bonham. I just like his drumming. He's excellent. Excellent. I skipped one while ago. Unique Center label. I'm going to go with get it turned around here. Roulette. Kind of unique. Got the roulette wheel, the numbers around it and everything. That's an early version with Buddy Knox. And then they ended up changing the label, but I still like the label they changed to. Tommy James and the Shondells, Crimson and Clover. But kind of unique, different type label. Okay, back on track now. Number 19, Turning 20, an album that is turning 20 this year. I got to looking, and I only had 2 or 3 CDs that were bought in 2000. I was not buying a lot of music then. Things were tight. We had recently moved, and so everything was kind of a iffy deal. Didn't have the money to spend on it. Just used my money elsewhere. But one CD I had, and of all things, the CDs I do have are comps. So, but this one's turning 20. The Beatles won. So, thought I'd show something anyway. Trilogy of albums 3 solid albums back to back by the same artist. Well, I think all 3 of these records are good all the way through. The covers have a great theme going to them. Molly Hatchet, Flirting with Disaster, and Molly Hatchet, Beating the Odds. All 3 great records all the way through, in my opinion. Some songs a little better than others, but still, even the off songs are not that bad. So, and that was it. And they gave a 21st question, VC shout outs. I have not been able to watch a whole lot of newer people this year. I've just been too busy. I've tried to keep up with some of the guys that I've been watching since I got involved with the VC. And so instead of singling anybody out, I'm just going to say, check out everybody. Look them up. If you see one pop up on the sidebar over there on your computer, check them out. See what you think about them. They may be great. They may be bad. You don't know till you check them out. Listen to some of the recommendations other people have. I know I've got on to some other people by that. But anyway, that's it. So everybody have a great 2020. Enjoy your music and keep them spinning. See y'all next time around. Don't know when, but I'll be back.